a year ago, I was able to make a choice that guaranteed more years in my life, essentially. And also so that I could go into this whole adventure with no regrets and knowing that I've done genuinely everything I can. Competing is something I've always wanted to do and to be healthy enough to do. So the fact that I am now preparing to do 3 more shows was pretty exciting, and I knew how badly I wanted it. And at the moment, I'm very goal oriented and very driven by things to do or races, what have you. And I knew that if I stepped on stage knowing that I had binged or purged or starved myself, that would be something I didn't check off. I didn't want to stand on stage being like, shit, if only I hadn't slipped up this time. I didn't want to have any regrets, essentially. Going on with that, besides this show, I never thought that I'd make it an entire year without giving into bulimic or anorexic tendencies and behaviors. I've struggled with eating disorder since I was 11, and that has brought about so many complications just because that was, when puberty is occurring and your body is changing, and the hormonal effects, the physical, emotional, mental, and just the biological effects, the changes in my muscles that happen in your joints, and there's so much sensitivity in your body when you're going through puberty and adolescent development. And that's when my disorders really started. So I'm very lucky to be alive here, because at my worst, many worst, things were not working. My head was not functioning. I couldn't lift cups. I was so weak. My wrists were unable to be used. My body wouldn't recover or heal. So if I got a bruise, it didn't heal for months. I don't want to get off topic too much, but I was in a bad place for a really long time. Pardon. So this prep started with finding my coach, who I absolutely love, trust. I trust so much. Tim, you're amazing. Thank you. But when I consulted with him and kind of put everything on the table, what's going on, I really got into it. So we started our prep with me getting ready for my first triathlon sprint, which was exciting. And anyways, a few months later, my wrists were immobile. I couldn't use them anymore. I couldn't lift things. They just caused so much pain. So what was occurring was my tendon sheaths were underdeveloped and couldn't compensate for the growth of my other tendons and my muscles. So they were adolescent size, essentially. And before moving to America again, I've already had about 4 steroid injections in both of my wrists just to deal with the ongoing pain and issues I was dealing with. So this prep started off with surgery. I believe I got surgery on my left hand done first, and so my programs were manipulated just so I could still work out. So I was using a lot of ankle wraps, and then as soon as the left one healed, I got the right one done. So for over 2.5 months, one of my arms was not operating at 100% due to side effects of eating disorders. And I don't know, this whole time I've been really focused on making sure that I get my menstrual cycle every month, my hormones are balanced, all this, and I knew that would be at risk considering how extreme this sport is. I'm going to go back to it. His prep has been phenomenal. This past year has been amazing. I can't believe I've been in recovery this long and I've been successful and I'm doing well. I never thought I'd make it a year clean. And here I am. And tomorrow will be a year in 1 day. And then it'll be a year in 2 days. And it's all kickstarting what I am predicting to be the most challenging month physically and mentally based on decisions that I have made. I have faced other traumas and other hardships, but those are out of my control. This one is purely my control and my decision making. And I know it's going to be testing, and I'm going to discover I have a lot more grit than possible. I already know that just because no matter how shitty this thing's been getting, I haven't given into these demons. And it feels really good. It feels really good. There's a quote I always reference and think about often. And so for any of you that are struggling or dealing with eating disorders, it is not the be-all end-all. One day, if you're open to it, recovery will happen. You got to fight for it. You got to work for it. I know I'm going to have to work for this every single day. It's still an intentional choice. But the quote, my worst days in recovery are always better than my best days sick. It's very true. So, to the entire team and community that has helped me get here, thank you. I can't wait to make it to 2 years, then 3, and then the rest of my life. Yeah, it's a big day. And today's gonna be great. All right, about to kickstart 3 peak weeks back to back. I got my plan from my coach. All in. Open-hearted, beating the woman I was yesterday, and improving and progressing every single step along the way. All right. Thank you.